Don't look for the flaws, warts, and blemishes in others. Look for their best. Second, I speak up. You can think the world of others, but if you never actually tell them, then you don't really help them. I have always believed that all people have a success seed within them. I often look at others and ask, what are their success seeds? When I discover them, I point them out to those individuals. Then I fertilize those seeds with encouragement and water them with opportunity. Look for the best in others and help them see it too. So there's two thoughts I have from this, and this is an awesome daily thought. In fact, this is one of my favorite ones we've had from this book. But the first one is identify what your strengths are in life. Identify what God-given talents you've been given. I promise you, there are things that you've been blessed with, talents, skill sets, traits, that you are better than anyone in the world at. Okay? That's just how God works. He makes us unique. He makes us different from anyone else. And there are things that are a part of our character, a part of our skill set that we can do better than anyone. Okay? Identify what those are and work in those strength sets. Okay? I tell you guys a lot, get into good situations quickly and get out of bad situations even faster. That's a fact of life that if you abide by it, you're going to see a ton of success. Look, I'm 5'11", 190 pounds, okay? I decided at a very young age that I wasn't going to be a pro basketball player, okay? That's not my strength. It's not something that I was blessed with. I wasn't blessed with a 6'8" body and, 40-inch vertical. And so if there's something that you are naturally not going to crush it at, don't get caught up with trying to be amazing at that if that's not your skill set, okay? Focus on what you are best at and exploit that, okay? Exploit that all you can while you're still exploring other gifts, other talents, okay? But work in your strength sets, and I promise you, as you guys do that, you're gonna have a ton of success. There are things that you are better than anyone in the world at. Find out what that is, discover that early, and focus on that. Okay? And then the other thing is every single person has greatness within them. Okay? Sometimes because of the way they were brought up, the way they were fostered by their parents, they're not aware of that. They don't know that there's greatness within them. Any great leader can pull that greatness out of people. And so if you guys wish to be great leaders, and you guys are all amazing leaders, find out, identify, and locate what those strengths are in others and make them aware of that. Tell them that. Like you said, you have to vocalize it. It's not enough just to think it and, identify it and keep it to yourself internally, but externally communicate that to them. And any great leader, like they said, George Washington wasn't more intelligent than those around him. He just knew what everyone was good at, and he placed him in those positions. Yeah. But yeah, what are you guys' thoughts about this? You guys think these are some true principles?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've been in sales since 2006, and like two of the managers that I've worked with in the sales that I've done, the reason they're as successful as they are is they surround themselves with people that they trust, that they know can do what the job for the position they've been put in, but they can't do everything themselves. So there's a saying, I can't remember exactly how it goes, but if you're wanting to be in a leadership position or start a business or whatever it may be, hire people that are smarter than you at what you're doing and put them in a position to help you be successful with it. But you can only be successful if you help them be successful. Yeah. So it all ties together.
Absolutely. It's that famous Zig Ziglar quote, you can get everything you want in life if you help enough people get what they want.
Yeah.
And you'll naturally help people get what they want as you empower them in their strengths.
There's also, I wish my memory was working the way it was. I can't remember who said this, but they would rather take 1% of 100 people's efforts rather than 100% of their own efforts.
Yeah.
You're going to make a heck of a lot more that way. And one, you're not being greedy. It's not all about you. It's about you making sure other people are successful. But if you think about it, 1% of 100 people's efforts versus 100% of your own, 100 people can accomplish a lot more than just you.
Yeah.
So.
Good point. Very good point. And a lot of that takes trust, right?
Absolutely.
Trusting others, empowering them to do their job. This is a good little takeaway from a conference I went to last weekend. But the quote is, trust is the highest form of human motivation. If you want to motivate someone to produce, to succeed, to thrive, put some trust in their court. Trust them, empower them, and they will be very, very motivated. Any other thoughts you guys have with this? Jason, you got some thoughts?
Yeah, I think there's the harder right, which is making sure to motivate people, but I think a lot of times we fall into the tendency of finding faults with each other. It's easy. It's easy as a leader to sit back and say, hey, you're not doing this, I'm doing this. So it takes a lot of discipline and effort, and a lot of people don't want to dish that out. But when you do, it's like you said, people are more reactive, and they trust you a lot better when you point out those things. That
for sure.
And you don't know where people are at either. So putting them in that position of trust really motivates them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I love that. Nate, you got anything you want to share?
No, I mean, I guess. I was gonna say with like the looking for good in others and always like boosting them up. So I like did an internship a little ago, and one of the coordinators for it was always just like, oh, you're gonna kill it, it's gonna be great. And I was like, you don't even know me. Like, how do you know if I am? Like, for all you know, I'm gonna blow this whole thing up. But I don't know. After a while, it felt good. Like you had a lot of confidence in me, so I think I did do pretty well at it.
Yeah.
It just goes to show it works.
Love that. Love that.
Something else going along with that. You brought up how we're fostered by our parents. Sometimes you don't realize the greatness that's in us.
Yeah.
It's funny how when you're younger, you're a little kid, your parents are like, you can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
You can be an astronaut if you want. You blah, blah, blah. But as you get older and you try to dive into things, your family and the people that are closest to you are the first people that'll take that away from you. That's not going to work. You can't accomplish that. I don't,
think realistic.
It's a scam. Yeah. Won't you just go get a regular job? And so it's funny how, I have, honestly, I don't know how to take compliments because unfortunately, a lot of the people that have been in my life have been negative about things I'm doing. And so now, the woman I'm dating, she'll pay compliments to me, and I just kind of smile because I just don't know how to take it in and believe it, because it's been more, you're not good enough, you're this, you're that, than it has been, hey, you're awesome, you can do this, you can accomplish whatever. And so it was nice having a phone. I talked to her, I'll driving down here this morning, and I'm a little stressed out about some situations in my personal life, but it was nice talking to her because she's like, you know what, it's all just piece by piece, you'll get all of it taken care of, you got this.
Yeah.
And it's good to have somebody positive in your life that can give you some positive reinforcement, because life will bring you negativity all day long.
Yeah.
So it's really good to have that. And then I don't know if you guys have heard the saying, but you're the sum of your 5 closest friends.
Yeah.
So be careful who you surround yourself with, because that's part of what's going on. Is that my buddy I'm living with is just, it's like negative Nelly.
Yeah.
And it just makes it hard. So, but yeah, that's important, is having people that support you and are positive in your life.
On that note, we'll wrap this thought up. There's a Grant Cardone. So I love following Grant Cardone on social media. He's awesome. In fact, if you can't find those people to surround yourself with, on a day-to-day basis, you can't find those 5 people, just have these people that are on social media, Audible, whatever it is, make those one of your 5 people. Grant Cardone, he's one of those 5 people in my life, okay? I'm constantly listening to him on social media, constantly listening to him on Audible, and so he's one of those 5 closest influencers I have for me. And so if you don't have those physically, you know, they don't live here in Utah, identify someone, whether it's a Tony Robbins, you know, a Tim Ferriss, a Grant Cardone, someone who has made it, who is very successful, and pick them and have them be one of those 5 influencers.
Yeah.
In any case, Grant Cardone quote goes hand in hand with what you just shared, Mark. It's hard to let go of those relationships that, you know, we don't feel are benefiting us anymore because of feelings and whatnot. But this is something he shared, and I really, really liked it. I actually took a picture of it. It's respect yourself enough to walk away from anything or anyone that no longer serve you, help you grow, or make you happy. We've got to protect ourselves, okay? We have to respect ourselves and know that, you know, we are fostering, we're cultivating ourselves, and we gotta protect home base first. And so if there's people in our lives that are negative, you know, the negative Nellies, cut them out. Honestly, you know, you guys have goals, you guys have ambitions and aspirations. Jason, I mean, you're going to be going to med school. You know, if you got people telling you can't make it, you're not smart enough, you're competing against the best in the world, chances are you probably won't make it. But you're surrounding yourself by people that are giving you positive reinforcement, you know. And so I challenge you guys, if there's anyone that's negatively influencing you, replace them. Honestly, replace them. And if you don't have replacements, you know, physically around you, get on Audible, get on social media, read, do whatever you can. Pick one of those, you know, people to be one of your 5 main influencers, and I promise you, you know, you'll be able to see, you know, the greatness within yourself. Okay, so got 2 things I want to talk about today. First one is actually something that we need to do more often in sales. We need to develop this skill set, not really a skill set, more of just the habits, just a mindset that should always be a part of every conversation we have with people, especially when we're in selling situations. But it's the mindset and it's the habit of listening. Okay? And when I say listening, it's not just hearing, okay? It's not just hearing what someone is saying out loud, what they're communicating vocally, but it's truly trying to identify and understand what people are wanting to communicate to us, okay? And there's a few different things that we can do physically with our body language to show someone that we are truly, sincerely, genuinely listening to what they're saying, okay? I'm gonna go over a few of those and then a few other ways to understand what people are saying. The reason for that, guys, is if we can understand people, if we can get on the same wavelength as them, and it takes effort, I promise you, we can get anything we want from them, okay? If we're on the same wavelength with them and they know that we're listening, we're gonna have so much success in sales, okay? So, a couple things with listening. This is body language tips. Tilt your head to expose your ear, okay? When someone is going like this, when they're tilting their head towards me and they're exposing their ear, I think they're listening, honestly, okay? Tilt your head, expose your ear. Get in the habit of doing that. You know, Mark's saying something to me, I'm gonna tilt my head a little bit. I'm gonna expose my ear to him. It's a great body language, great tip of how we can show externally that we are listening to people. Tilt the head, expose the ear, okay? Next one. Nod your head, okay? If I'm just simply tilting my head and just looking at someone, that's not enough, okay? I want to nod my head. Mark, you do a great job of this. When I'm talking to you, dude, you're totally just Exposing the ear, nodding the head, okay? Nod your head. Give off those nonverbal cues that show a customer you're listening, okay? Nod your head. Let them know you're following them. Next one. Squint your eyes, okay? When someone says something and, you know, they're coming to a main point, the main objective of their conversation or communication with you, squint your eyes, all right? It's just a small nonverbal cue that goes a long ways, okay? All these small little nonverbal cues, when they add up cumulatively, they make a big difference, okay? Get on the edge of your seat, all right? You know, don't try to look, you know, super abrasive and just like you're coming towards them, but, you know, Jason, the way he's sitting right now, dude, that's a perfect listening position. If I were in, you know, someone's home and I were sitting like that, they would know I was listening to them, okay? Get on the edge of your seat, lean forward a bit, okay? You want to come closer to someone, you want to get on the same wavelength with them, start out by doing that physically, okay? Physically move closer towards them, all right? Get on the edge of your seat. Put your elbows on your thighs if you need to get closer to them, all right? You want to create that connection. All right, next one. Oh, yeah. This is the other one that they went over. Okay, this sounds weird, but this kind of goes hand in hand with squinting the eyes. Perk your lips a bit, okay? It's super weird, and it's...
How do you perk your lips?
It's weird to say that loud, but squint your eyes and it's just a way of showing that you're listening to people.
Well, it's kind of like, I get you.
Yeah, I get you.
Or it's kind of like I'm keeping my mouth closed, I'm listening to you.
Exactly. That's actually a great point. Hey, I haven't thought about it that way. I'm locking down all faculties of trying to interrupt you, of me trying to speak. I'm on complete lockdown. I'm intaking everything, all right? It's all you right now. My lips are sealed, I'm tight-lipped, okay? Be tight-lipped, all right? It's just a great way of showing that, hey, I'm not thinking about what I'm gonna say to you next. I'm listening to everything you got, okay? It's a great point, Nate. Okay.
Can I add one thing?
Yeah.
So another good thing is repeat what they just said to you.
Yeah.
Because then it
Absolutely.
shows that you actually heard them.
Yeah. And I would say repeat and agree. Repeat and agree. So Nate, you're saying you know, you want to surround yourself with the, you know, 5 people that are going to make you better. Dude, I agree, man. I'm with you. I agree. I'm with you. I totally understand. Okay? Awesome. Awesome. Anything else you guys want to add with this listening? How many of you guys feel like you do this naturally?
Probably not all of them, but
Yeah.
It's kind of something we do naturally,
Yeah.
but truth be told, guys, I've come across a lot of reps, and there's a lot of people that don't do this naturally. Yeah, Jason.
Yeah, and I think it's important to distinguish between listening and active listening.
Mhm.
I think they're two very different things that have two very different results.
Yeah. Yeah.
The way it was explained in the trainings that I've done is a lot of people listen to respond, but they don't listen to understand.
Exactly. I love that. I love that. Listen to understand.
Right, and just to go off that, I think that's in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Seek to understand, not to be
Yeah.
understood.
Yep. Love that. Love that. Seek for understanding. That is putting the customer first. Put the customer first. They are most important. Okay? Seek to understand, not to be understood. Awesome. And guys, this all goes hand in hand with the first rule of selling. Who remembers the first rule of selling? You guys remember that? Anyone know? Okay. First rule of selling, remember this one. Always, always, always agree with the customer. First rule of selling. Doesn't mean the customer's always right.
Yeah.
It means that you're agreeing. And the reason you're doing that is because when you agree, it opens them up to listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? You listen to them, it's reciprocated. They're going to listen to you. So always, always, always agree with the customer. These are tips on how we can physically show that we are agreeing with them, that we are trying our very best to get on the same wavelength as them. Okay, so guys, those are some nonverbal cues, some tips just to physically show, outwardly that we're listening to customers. A couple other things just to internalize that you can do internally. Don't think about how you're going to respond, okay? If you think about that, then you're distracted and you can't really pick up on what their main concern is. It just means you're distracted. And so really hone in on what they're saying. Do your best, and we all do it. We all do it. It's a natural tendency. That's just the natural man in each of us. We all want everyone to hear what we want to say. But I promise you that if you put off that temptation to just think about what you're going to say next, you'll be that much more effective as a closer, as a communicator, okay? So listen to them. Don't think about how you're going to respond. And if needs be, check for understanding, okay? Like you guys said, repeat what they say just to do an understanding check. So what you're saying is this, am I right? Okay, cool. No, I agree with you. This is what we're going to do for you. Check for understanding if you're not quite there. And be 100% sincere. Sometimes people have weird objections and concerns that we may not think is a big deal, but it is a big deal to them.
Yeah.
For example, lady says, oh, I don't want to lose my DVR recordings. My son was on the news 5 years ago. And, it's just a short clip of him 5 seconds on the Today Show, but it's super important to me. Hear him out,
Yeah.
I'm with you 100%. I'm a family man myself. If I was on the news, that would mean the world to me that my mom had recorded it. The DVR does have to be returned, and so we won't be able to save that. But what you can do is you can go to Walmart or Best Buy and talk to a tech geek, and they can tell you how you could potentially transfer that onto a hard drive or USB or something of the sort. But I'm with you. That's a huge concern. There are options to where we can get that taken care of to where you can, save that somehow, whatever it might be.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
Once you do that, something else you can do. So other than that, is there any other concern you would have? Or any other reason anything else that would hold you back from, doing this today?
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that. One thing I like to do, if I'm ever with an older couple, older, family, whatever it is, and they have a hard time remembering their channels, and they have like their favorite channels written out, on a piece of paper, a to-do list or something. I say, hey, I see you got your channels written out. What I'm going to do for you guys, because I know it's a potential concern you might have, I'm going to write out the new channel numbers for you. Okay, I'm going to take the next 2 or 3 minutes to write down those new numbers, so those are easy to find. For a lot of older people, that's a huge concern.
Yeah.
Okay. Another thing is they are scared, intimidated by using a new system. Hear them out if you sense that at all, and just say, look, my technician, he's the best in the business, okay? He's gonna take however much time is needed to show you how to work the new remote, so it's an easy, seamless transition for you, okay? I know that's something you may be fearful of. We're gonna take the time to get you taken care of. I'm listening to you. Whatever it is, really try to pull out those concerns, show customers you sincerely, genuinely care, and remember that just because it's not a big deal to you, it doesn't mean it can't be a big deal to them.
Yeah. I actually had a situation with that up in Idaho. The old guy literally should have hearing aid because you know how you're saying this? I was going to say act like you're deaf because that's what he had to do.
Yeah.
He literally had to look at his wife and kind of like this.
Yeah.
And she had to yell in order for him to hear. And I told him 4 times we're going from Dish to AT&T and the DirecTV platform.
Yeah.
And his wife finally, he's like, I don't want anything to change. I said, you're gonna get the exact same channels you have.
Right.
If you need me to come back and show you what the channels are and help you program your favorites list and everything, I'll do that for you.
Yeah.
But we are switching. And then they made the switch, and then all of a sudden they get the phone call. They're pissed. He's pissed. They ended up, I don't like bringing negativity up, but he ended up canceling.
Right.
And it's because, for whatever reason, even though I told him 4 times, he just, it didn't click with him that we're making the switch from dish to direct. And so his wife calls me up. She talked to me about it. She was mad because she wanted to save the money and knows that nothing's going to be any different. It's just direct over dish. And then he called me about 20 minutes later upset because they didn't communicate that she had already talked to me. And trying to communicate with a person that's deaf on the phone, literally, I'm like, sir, I've already talked to your wife and blah, blah. Did she make the phone call yet?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't want this, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, just talk to your wife. She already took care of it. I don't know what to do. So, anyway, but you got to make sure that you make sure that it's clear what's going on before you leave the house.
For sure. Absolutely. Very, very important. Cool. Anything else you guys want to share while we're here? Pretty thorough on that. Okay, and then the other tip I wanted to throw out to you guys is just leveraging the fact that AT&T has absorbed and acquired DirecTV. Okay, you come across customers that, for the longest time, the only 2 options in their area was Dish and DirecTV, and for one reason or another, they have a sour taste in their mouth towards DirecTV, and most of that is just from commercials that their current provider airs. Talking about how DirecTV gets cutouts in storms, or DirecTV doesn't have all the channels they want, whatever it might be. DirecTV, your price is going to go up after 3 months, and there's just things that we can say in our presentation to overcome that objection right away. And I would say about 75% of Dish customers, that is a huge objection. That's a huge concern of, oh, I'm going to DirecTV, I'm not going to like it because of all these commercials I've watched where Dish has brainwashed me, okay? And so leverage the AT&T name, and it's very subtle. You just simply say, hey, you guys are on the Dish platform right now. You can stick with what you got, keep paying the high bill with the old equipment, or the other option you have, all the neighbors have been doing, is that you can get on the AT&T DirecTV television platform. Okay, they say, oh, is this DirecTV? You say, different from what experience you had in the past with it. Reason for that, AT&T has a larger customer base. With that larger customer base, there's now a lot more leverage and negotiating power to keep prices manageable for you. You're going to get all the same channels you currently got. They've done a lot of investment in the technology to make sure you get good reliability with the storms. You're going to get that DVR that records several things at a time. You have 1,000 hours of recording space. Whatever their potential concern might be, like, oh, I've heard it goes up after 3 months. Nope, the reason you've heard that is because customers didn't remove their movie channels. Nice thing about what we do is we give you a reminder to get those removed so it never shows up on your bill. We're going to give you all of the heads up you need so there's no surprises and it's a smooth transition for you. Okay, and so leverage that AT&T name. I promise you, if you do that, you do it tactfully, it's going to lead to more sales. It's going to lead to more closes.
That actually saved a deal for me in Idaho.
Yeah.
Saturday.
Yep.
Yeah, we had that, and guy calls me up and he's like, hey, I just talked to the guy I'm renting from, and he says DirecTV is terrible and they got terrible signal and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you know what? If he had them more than 2 years ago, I would totally agree with him.
Yeah.
But then I used that whole AT&T thing. And, all right, well, I guess we'll try it. Got them installed. And haven't heard anything back.
Honestly, yep. We just need to get the technician there to install it, and then they see, okay, all right, I'm in a good spot. I'm saving money. I'm getting my channels. All the rumors and the hearsay that I've taken in, it's really not true. I really am in a better situation. Okay. But yeah, those are my 2 tips for the day, guys. Leverage that AT&T name, use it tactfully for whatever concern they might have with the DirecTV brand, and then listen. Listen so that you can understand the customer. Seek to understand, not to be understood. It's a great plug there, Jason. I appreciate that. Okay, Okay, before we wrap it up, are there any things you guys are coming across, pricing, programming questions, any concerns you feel like you've had trouble overcoming with customers?
Yeah, I got a question, real quick question. And I think I verified this, but because I didn't know. If somebody's getting the sports pack, it's $8.99 for the sports pack, but the $4.53 that we have to add to choice and above is completely different charge than the $8.99 for the actual sports pack. So if you're getting somebody the sports pack to get them some channels they wouldn't get normally, then you have to add both of those, correct?
Correct, yeah. So the only reason you should ever be adding the sports pack is honestly if they need the outdoor channel.
Yeah,
Because
I think that's actually the reason I had to do it.
If they're on the extra package, they'll get every single channel that comes on the sports pack except for the outdoor channel and some like extra regional sports networks, but usually people don't need the Cleveland Regional Sports Network living in Utah. So if it's the outdoor channel, that's usually the only time you'll need to add the sports pack.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because they had actually did flex pricing, and then they were paying $31 for their equipment, plus they had a kids pack and something called National Action Pack or Nations Action Pack or something.
Yeah.
So they were paying $102 a month. And if I would have put them in the programming for them to get the outdoor channel, it would have been like premium or premier or whatever.
Yeah.
It would have been 100 and something a month, wouldn't really save them much.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to do it the other way and do the sports pack. But I was confused on adding that and blah, blah, blah. So another question I do have. So I've looked at a lot of people's bills, and when you pull it up on their TV, I see a lot of people with Dish have to pay $12 a month for local channels. Does Direct charge that anymore?
Not at least for the first 2 years.
Okay. And then I noticed also you're seeing $15 for the Hopper feed and then $7 for the Joey. So I know we do the $7 for the extras, but we don't have that fee anymore either, right?
Nope. That promo pricing, $35 covers the Genie and everything, and then just $7 per receiver after that if they're on Select, for example.
So that's something else that, even though I wasn't 100% sure, I figured that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because I obviously did this back in 13. So that's another thing I was using to get, sell the deal.
Yeah, leverage that.
And I'm like, so you're looking at it right here. So you're paying $12 a month for your local channels, and you're paying $15 a month for just your Hopper.
Yeah.
So I said, so again, this is why a lot of people are enjoying the new AT&T Direct platform.
Yeah.
Because AT&T has more clout and power, they've been able to somehow negotiate the local channels with you without you having to pay the extra $12. And you're not having to worry about paying for that main receiver.
Yeah.
And so right there, you're looking at $27 a month.
Yeah.
That they should be able to save.
Yep.
And so that's another reason I had to finagle that cost, because if I'd have done it the other way, they wouldn't have been saving $27 a month. I'm like, well, that's not going to make any sense if I do this. So.
Yeah. That's the true promo pricing on it. Yeah, and that's one of the main 5 objections that customers have is that price you're quoting me including all the fees, and you just bring that up before they do and say, yeah, the first 2 questions I get when I quote a customer is, does that include all the fees, surcharges, DVR, receiver, locals, and all? And then how long does the price last? So first, yes, that does include all the fees, everything all together, that's the bottom line price. And second, that price is set for the next year, okay? Cool, great question, Mark. Any other questions?
Yeah, just real quick, specifically when they say, okay, well after that first year, like what am I going to expect here?
So what I usually say is, your price is going to go up after the first year. It's going to be anywhere between $25 and $30, okay? If that's if that's not manageable for you, just give them a call at month 13, and they'll work with you to give you any other discounts that might be available. Customers have a lot of success at the year mark calling in and getting an additional $10 discount for the second year price. And so just say that to them, sell, with that transparency. Never ever tell a customer it's set, for life, 2 years or whatever. It's a 1-year promo price, and then it does go up at the year mark. do that, and you're golden.
One other question. I
Yeah.
don't know if you know the answer, but how come optimal MOS goes up so high in the second gear?
I think it's because, and I might be wrong on this, Carlos, you can correct me if I am. I think it's just because gosh, I don't know. Do you know why that might be, Carlos? Why Optimal MOS would go up more than Select would? I think Optimal MOS includes a lot more channels than just the normal Select does.
Yeah.
And it's a hybrid package where it has Espanol and English.
Yeah.
And so I think that might be why.
Yeah, because I had a.
It's like the choice package pretty much.
Yeah, it's like choice
Plus,
essentially, but the
the
first
sports
year price
channels
was lower.
Plus the sport channels have a lot of, I like the soccer leagues, European leagues, so I'm added to that.
Because I had a Spanish deal that I pitched up in Idaho, and I had told them what you had said. You know, yeah, you're locked in at this rate for first 12 months, and second year you're going to see an increase of somewhere between $20 and $30.
Uh-huh.
And they were initially a little nervous about it, but then all of a sudden they read that it's going to go up more than that with Optimal MOS. And then I had actually called the office and asked them. They said it's going to go from 50 something to 91 or something. I'm like, that's a $40 jump.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
How long did they have Dish for?
They had them 2 years, I believe.
They did?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have the gift card promo right now.
Oh yeah,
you
of course.
You can use that to your advantage to say, hey, we're going to give you this gift card that's going to offset some of the second year increase.
Yep.
And they're usually cool with that.
Yeah, I actually did that because they were already paying $91 a month with Dish for what they had.
Yeah.
And the only reason they were even doing Spanish channels was because the husband wanted it. The wife could care less.
What kind of receivers they had? Dual tuners?
It was just the 722K or whatever. It wasn't.
Was it DVR?
I believe they could record.
I would just strongly agree to say, hey, not only are we going to give you something better, you're going to be able to record more shows at a time. So with that, obviously there's a little bit added cost to that, but you're getting more out of your service than otherwise you would with what you have right now.
The biggest problem is I pitched a one-legger and we had it set up to get it installed.
One-legger?
Yeah, and then the husband came home and just started doing research, and he just killed the deal. And they wouldn't let me come back and talk to him, so that's the only.
So the husband showed up while you were there?
No, the husband he was on his way home.
Okay.
It was the last day we were in Idaho last week,
Mm-hmm.
and or early part of the week, sorry, and it was like 6:30 or so, and he still hadn't gotten home, and he wasn't going to be home for like another hour or something. And so I just got everything set up with her. I said, yeah, we can do this. It's going to lower your cost. Da, 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 da. But the thing that she was nervous about is she said that she actually had to separate bank accounts because her husband's terrible with his money and paying bills, but it was going to be in his name. And so
it sounds like
I don't know.
She mainly took care of all the bills except the Dish.
Well, he paid the mortgage and the TV bill, and that's why she was so nervous about it, because he's just terrible with his money. She was good to go with it. I got it all set up. It was set up for install, and then she called me back, but it wasn't set up till the next morning because we couldn't get anybody there. And
one of the things I would advise, as you probably already heard, is that the husband typically handles the TV bill. So one thing you want to, before you start talking numbers, just say, hey, who handles the Dish bill? Oh, I do everything else except the Dish bill. So one of the things you can say, well, great, I can make an appointment, come back when your husband's here in about an hour. Is that right? Okay, I'll stop by and kind of talk to him about the Dish, and I know you're concerned about numbers, so we'll make sure and cover that as well. That way, you don't give him everything up front, and then you can come back and then build that excitement about the sale. Because I can understand how you went through that process of, we're kind of interested in it, we're not so much.
Yeah, I didn't get the cancellation thing until like 7 o'clock the next morning. She texted me and said, hey.
You scheduled it for the next day?
I had to.
Oh yeah, because there was a one on your side.
Yeah, well the text couldn't get there for that night to get it done. And so I had to be scheduled in the morning. So I really couldn't do anything about the technician thing. In fact, the tech themselves told me, I can't do it, so schedule it for the AM.
Yeah, they're definitely okay.
I mean, it's only one deal. It's not life or death, but it's just learning experience for anybody.
Yeah. So try to figure out right off the bat, who's the TV boss. Okay,
So
cool.
quick question about the Spanish channels. Are they pretty much the exact same as the English ones in your Spanish one?
What about?
The channels lineups, like you just do the same thing, like you vote them for a choice or a.
Yeah, so
Oh,
it's,
okay.
I'll text you the Spanish program.
One of the key things you want to
Nathan, can you send that to me too? Okay.
One of the key things you want to ask is, does anybody else watch TV here? And they'll say yes. Does anybody watch English channels? And they'll say yes. What about sport channels? Oh, they'll watch English and Spanish. So I know right off the bat I need to put them on the Mas Ultra because the Mas Ultra will have the English sports channels. And yeah,
So does Optimo Mas not have sports?
No, it does.
it does have sports, but it's tailored mainly to soccer because Hispanics like soccer.
Okay.
So it'll have sports channels, but it's just mainly like soccer. It'll have ESPN, but in Spanish.
Okay.
And
But Mas Ultra has like
it's like choice.
the rest of okay.
So it's like Choice. So they
So
get
it
the
has
same
soccer
lineup
plus-
as Choice, but with those Spanish.
It's not exactly the same, but it kind of mimics the choice factor.
Okay.
You just want to ask them what channels are. And typically everybody's going to be good with either the Mas Ultra or Optimum. You guys run into a lot of Hispanics over there?
My only sale so far has been to a Spanish family, so.
There's a lot of
Yeah,
Hispanics.
dude, there's a lot
Yeah, I
of
know there's
potential.
quite a few. So.
I need to find them.
Yeah.
Yeah, for real, dude.
Yeah, Spanish clubs save money on the bill, so yeah.
I
you
think
can
they're
do
easy
that.
to talk to, like they're more willing to talk to you and move to sales and muscle.
They're willing to listen as far because
Yeah.
they've had Dish for multiple years now, so they're just
Yeah,
getting charged more and more.
Yeah.
lot of help to be had there.
So what's your plan for who's going up Saturday?
What was
I'm
your
gonna go
name?
up Saturday.
Nate.
Just you.
Nate.
Sean Donnelly's coming up.
What was your name, bro?
If you text that day.
Jason.
So
Jason, nice to meet you.
Carlos, right?
I
Yeah,
texted
Jason.
back with Greer. He said that.
I think he's going to Morgan.
Yeah, he wants to for sure do Morgan.
Yeah, if you want to hit
Colville.
Morgan on Saturday, that's
Are we gonna
fine.
have a tech that'll be there?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
Sean will be out there for you.
Oh, okay, sweet. Yeah, we did that
Yeah.
last time in Morgan, so.
Yeah,
'cause we
you-
want to hit that area.
Yeah. Usually what I like to do is 3 of the selling days throughout the week, I stay a little bit closer.
Yeah.
And then when I want to have like bigger days and go out in more rural areas, I'll usually do that like on a Friday and a Saturday. Just get
Yeah,
out early.
That's a really good call.
I have no
Yeah.
problem with Idaho because I mean,
You slayed it there, bro.
um, when I go back up, have you assigned anybody to the actual town of Declo?
I had
My-
somebody one in Declo.
You haven't assigned anybody to it, to sell in it? Because like my border that you made for me kind of cut down into like just the north part of it.
Yeah.
But I'd love to do the entire town. as
Yeah,
well.
that's fine, dude. I can redraw that and reassign. Yeah.
Okay,
Just
cool.
let me know.
No.
Just take like a screenshot,
Mhm.
and then if you can edit the screenshot to do your own little like square,
Yeah.
I can just take that and then just throw it in there.
Okay, cool.
That's
Because
fine.
yeah, Greer and I are going to go up and take care of Colville and
Yeah.
I think it's Mountain Green. Is it
Mountain Green and
That's that little town right before
yep.
Morgan.
Awesome,
So I'm
awesome
going to go up there and
areas.
take care of that.
Yep.
And then, but I definitely would like to go back to Idaho maybe
Yeah.
next week.
Yeah,
Towards
absolutely,
the end of
dude.
next week or something.
We'll make it happen. Usually, Friday and Saturday, we can get people up there and get
Yeah.
rolling.
In fact, I have, if you guys are going to be up there, I have a guy that I talked to last time. It was Saturday, I think. But he was just busy. I couldn't really get him sat down. But he's definitely interested. He knows all about the flipping back and forth. He's done it multiple times.
Yeah.
So he's like, all I care about is the deal. So I'm gonna call him today and talk to him.
Yeah, dude.
Who's the technician that would be up there for me to schedule a deal with?
So, I'm gonna get Anthony and Nephi up there on
Okay.
Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll see if I can get him today, in fact, and then get him set up. And then I have a deal set for the 14th to get installed. It was the parents of somebody I set up.
Yeah.
If I can see if they're going to be available for Saturday, can I get that scheduled for Saturday?
Yeah.
That way they don't have to pay the $35.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'll call them and see if we can get that done too.
Cool.
Is Bentley the only technician we have right now here in this area?
Who?
Bentley?
Bentley? No, we have
Because I know Sean was down in...
Sean's available, Tom Provost, Nephi Laydecker, Bentley, and Dawson.
Will you send me a list of all the techs that we have to work with? I've got Nephi and Sean's numbers already. Can you send me the numbers for the other two?
Yeah, and eventually we're going to transition to the same day app, and so we won't
Yeah,
even have to
nice.
have these
Yeah.
conversations.
Oh, that's cool.
Because it's like I get like 30 texts a day, like, "Hey, who's working what?" And I have like no idea. And so
What I did yesterday, I texted Ron Jessup, and he kind of texted me back that Bentley was going to be available, but I guess he has a second job, so I had to wait.
I don't even know who Bentley is. I've never heard that.
That's a new guy,
Oh,
from what I understand.
yeah, and then if you text the office, they can give you the actual numbers to these guys.
yeah. I've got Sean's numbers from clear back when we were in Montana.
Cool. All right, guys, let's set some goals. Nate.